So, what happens when a mind that's been totally rewired by modern science comes back home to a world that runs on ancient faith? That's exactly the conflict we're diving into today, with a really powerful story by the great Egyptian writer Yahya Hakki. It's a tale that puts the cold, hard logic of a doctor's scalpel up against the warm, unwavering glow of a holy lamp.
And this quote, it gets right to the heart of the world we're about to step into. See, in this place, healing isn't just about medicine or what's in a bottle. It's directly tied to what you believe. The cure is real, but it only works if your inner sight, your faith, is strong enough to actually let it in.
All right, so let's meet our main character, a young man named Ismail. He's growing up in the very heart of Cairo, in this incredibly vibrant community where, honestly, life itself just seems to orbit around the Mosque of Sayyida Zaynab and the watchful presence of its saint, Hashim.
For Ismail's family, and really for everyone there, everything revolves around this one sacred spot. The call to prayer isn't just a sound, it's their clock. The saints' festivals mark their calendar. Their whole life is woven into the fabric of this place. The street vendors, the beggars, the constant pulsing cycles of devotion. And right in the middle of it all, you have the lamp, this constant glowing symbol of everything they believe.
But, and this is a huge but, this world is also built on incredible sacrifice. Ismail's entire family is pouring every last bit of their energy, their money, their being into him. I mean, his cousin Fatima, who's got this terrible eye disease, she's the one staying up all night with him while he studies. They are literally sacrificing their own lives for his future, a future built on a modern scientific education.
And this is the central symbol of their entire world, the Lamp of Hashim. It's not just some light fixture, you know? The oil from this lamp is their medicine. But it comes with that one crucial catch. It only works if you truly, deeply believe. It's like a physical cure that requires a spiritual key to unlock it.
And all that sacrifice? Well, it pays off. They actually managed to send him to Europe for 7 whole years to become an eye doctor. But here's the twist. The man who comes back is not the boy who left. Not even close.
I mean, the change is just total. A complete 180. His faith in God gets replaced by a new faith in science. The idea of being part of a community gets swapped out for this radical new individualism. He comes back a completely different person, and his worldview has been reshaped not just by his books, but by his relationship with a very worldly English woman named Mary.
And this right here, this is the core of what Mary teaches him. She basically tells him, don't lean on anything outside of yourself. Not religion, not family, not tradition. For her, real strength has to come from within. So he learns to detach himself, to see his own past not as a foundation, but more like a set of chains he needs to break.
So what's the end result of all this? Well, he doesn't just add science to his life, he uses it to completely erase what was there before. For the new Dr. Ismail, religion is just a fairy tale for the uneducated, and science, well, science is the one and only truth.
Okay, so you can probably see where this is headed, right? You've got Dr. Ismail armed with his absolute faith in pure science, returning to a home he now sees as backwards and ignorant. It's like two trains heading straight for each other on the same track. A collision is inevitable.
And boom, it all goes down on his very first night back. He walks in and sees his own mother treating the sore eyes of his cousin Fatima, the very same cousin who sacrificed so much for his education, and she's using the holy oil from the lamp, the one symbol of everything he now despises.
Now, his reaction isn't to, gently educate her. Oh no, it is pure violent rage. He screams at his mother, calling her deepest, most sacred beliefs humbug and superstition. To him, this isn't an act of love and faith. It's an act of dangerous ignorance that's literally harming Fatima.
And his father's response? Man, it just perfectly captures how deep and painful this divide has become. They poured everything they had into their son, and in their eyes, he's come back as an infidel, someone who's rejected the very core of who they are and who he is.
But Ismail isn't done. He's so convinced he's right, so full of this scientific fury that he physically attacks their faith. He snatches the bottle of holy oil, throws it out the window where it smashes in the street, and then he runs straight towards the very heart of their belief system, the mosque itself. And that's when he does the unthinkable. Inside the shrine, in front of everyone, he commits the ultimate act of desecration. He grabs his father's walking stick,
raises it high, and brings it crashing down on the Lamp of Umm Hashim, shattering the one symbol of everything he has decided to reject.
Okay, so he's basically declared war on their faith. Now he's got to prove his way is better. He's determined to show them all the power of pure, cold science. He takes over Fatima's care completely, using all the modern techniques he learned in Europe, absolutely certain that he will succeed where their superstition has failed.
But then comes the story's most tragic, most brutal twist. Despite all his knowledge, all his fancy techniques, and all his scientific certainty, he fails. Horribly. Under his enlightened care, Fatima's condition gets worse, until one morning, she wakes up completely blind. His science, stripped of any soul, has caused a total catastrophe.
So, as you can imagine, this failure just completely breaks him. He's defeated, he's alone, he's basically an outcast. But it's in this moment of total darkness that he finally starts to see a new kind of light. He starts wandering around the old neighborhood, the same square he grew up in, but he's seeing it differently now. He no longer looks around and sees ignorance and filth. Instead, he sees a community of people held together by a shared belief so powerful it gives them a strength and a peace that his science could never, ever touch.
And this is where he has his huge aha moment. He realizes it was never just about the medicine. The reason his science failed is because Fatima didn't believe in him. Her faith wasn't in his needles and drops. It was in Hashim. He finally gets it. Knowledge alone isn't enough. Science can't really heal a person if it aggressively ignores their spirit.
So, what does he do? He tries again. But this time, it's totally different. He doesn't lead with arrogance. He leads with humility and respect. He gets the holy oil, but this time he presents it as a blessing, something to work with her faith. Then, once her spirit is on board and she trusts him, he applies his modern science again. And this time, with faith and science working together, it actually works. Fatima can see again.
And in the end, Ismail finally finds his true purpose. It was never about choosing science or faith. It was about creating a synthesis of both. He becomes a doctor for his own people, opening a clinic for the poor, marrying Fatima, and bringing his two worlds together. He blends his hard-won knowledge from Europe with a deep, compassionate understanding of the community he almost destroyed. And that's really what the story leaves us with, right? This huge question. Ismail's modern science was totally useless. In fact, it was destructive until he learned to respect the traditions and beliefs of the people he was trying to help. And it makes you wonder, in our own world, in our constant rush for progress, what essential wisdom do we risk losing if we don't respect the traditions we're so quick to dismiss?